Dan, are you?
Good to go.
I am, Philip.
Good to go.
How you doing, Philip?
I'm blessed and highly favored, man. Positivity all around.
Another
I'm not
week.
I'm not even
Another
saying
week.
anything.
We back at it.
I'm not even saying anything negative, man. We're pushing, we're striving, we're going to make it work. Just going to make it. All right. So Dan, as I'm sure you know, due to
Toxic
some copyright
positivity.
issues, due to copyright issues, we've been unable to play music at the beginning of a podcast, which has been unfortunate. But shout out to our listeners. Shout out to the people that love us because they've given us something else. So this is how we're going to kick off the show today.
Sat right here in my car and had a epinephrine in me. A epinephrine, I had one. I know I did.
Scene.
This is a new audio drop. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna put this on the soundboard. And every time I have an idea, I'm like, "Yo, Dan, I had an
epinephrine. Why am I
get my
doing this
EpiPen.
adding extra syllables?
Get my
You make it more
EpiPen.
difficult for yourself.
Give me my EpiPen. You know what I mean? Give me my EpiPen. Give me my ephedrine right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have an ephedrine right now. You know what I'm saying?
Anyway,
I'm talking about.
so Phil, let's look. We've given the people them to come back into podcasting. We give them 2-hour episodes, and no one can accuse us of not coming back serious about podcasting.
Stop doing this. Record and then you cut.
Listen to why do you not listen to me?
Because you're gonna set expectations. They're gonna start shouting at us.
No, this is what I was going to say. Therefore, we have already demonstrated our seriousness. We don't have to put so much pressure on ourselves anymore. We can just flow. And I would recommend that we flow relatively quickly today. They won't be angry at us, Phil. They understand. They understand. I've now recorded 3 episodes away from my normal abode. So, we got to make things work. You got to make things move. The goal is to overcome challenges, come out on the other side. That's what we're trying to do. But yeah, without further ado, without wasting time, Phil, get us started. Get us started here.
So, Dan, are you?
Good to go.
Yes.
Yo, I just want to let you know if you're a domestic worker and you and you're doing some landscaping, run because
They shooting. I made you look.
it's not funny. But it's also wild. It's so wild. Oh,
I'm seeing Nas. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. Like, how many times are they gonna?
You know, there's rappers who claim to be about that life. They ain't really about that life.
They ain't about
You know what I'm
that
saying?
because this isn't the first time they've. They're so about it. Even their mama was in those streets hitting a belt to ass.
So today, I know this is not funny.
Start
It's not
explaining.
funny, right?
Don't even explain anything. Just leave it as. Sometimes
No,
you
it's not funny. I just want to say today I was scrolling on TikTok and then I came across Morris Chestnut's TikTok, and he was playing. That saxophone scene from Boys in the Hood.
Oh yeah, he's about to get shot. Ricky.
Yeah, so that's saxophone. So it was quite a funny TikTok. It's just like everywhere I go, this damn song still haunts me. And then he's just like going about his life and he eventually starts running, right? Which was low-key traumatizing because it took me back. So, I was actually like, damn, man, that was actually like a traumatizing scene. So I went on YouTube to watch the clip.
Oh wait,
just to remind myself.
Before you did you see the comment on TikTok where they were like, "You still haven't learned your lesson. You're still running in a straight line, you idiot."
I mean, anyway, so you did see the video. Do we all get the same social media? What the heck?
No, I saw that on TikTok. I don't know. Maybe someone copied it from YouTube, but anyway, continue.
No, I saw it on TikTok. I saw Morris Chestnut on TikTok. Anyway, I then went to YouTube to just watch the Ricky scene, just to remind myself of how it went down. And acting was different in the 90s. But anyway,
you're
it's
very
just
gracious. Very gracious.
When when you were playing the gunshot effects in my mind, the Ricky saxophone was playing as well. It's not funny. It's not funny.
Yeah, it's not. Yo, Dan, quick one. Is my video like supremely pixelated right now?
Extremely, yeah.
Why haven't you not said anything?
I'm assuming that.
Okay, this is shame. I brought out this webcam. I haven't used it in quite some time. I think it's got some issues. And now I think I remember why I stopped using it. Watch, it's going to switch. It's going to get better. Yeah.
Much better. Like, what did you use last week?
Just the MacBook camera.
Yeah.
I might have to go back to the MacBook
you can
camera.
also use your phone. You can.
Oh, I need it, but also my phone will get really hot. Super hot. Unlike you, we don't have the latest, Dan.
I'm very excited. Speaking of tech, I finally splurged on some accessories that I needed. I bought the Logitech MX series keyboard and mouse.
Oh, which one did you get? The MX Master?
Yep.
Finally, welcome to the revolution, Dan. Welcome to the revolution.
Man. Yo, this thing is lit.
You get the MX4?
No, I got the 3S.
Oh, nice. No, welcome to my world, Dan. We've been here. It's great.
I'm just saying, this is how y'all been living, huh? This is nice.
Why do you think I love opening spreadsheets so much? Like it makes spreadsheets very fun. Oh, wait until you figure out your macros and your shortcuts. Oh, it's beautiful.
I mean, I've already mapped the different buttons, and it's nice. It's nice. I have to say, it's nice. It's nice. I also the video will be slightly better because I bought. All I was missing was a stand. I just needed a stand for the light, and I got that now. So things are looking a little bit more, and I got a mic stand, but things are looking a little bit better for the video. Nice. Anyway, please, can we start the show? Give us the intro sequence, Phil, so we can get into it.
Oh, because you already said you're
Good to go.
I am good to go.
And there'll be none of.
Let me hear a drum.
Good to go.
Let me hear a
Welcome one more again to another episode of your favorite podcast. This is Two Broke Twimbos. My name is Danny, that guy, aka Denos the Mad Titan, aka Denford Wegumaraini, aka Denimbi, my life, your entertainment, aka not shooting any guards and locking myself in any rooms, aka Akuna Mumwendi Danmu.
That's right. He's the only, the unmistakable, the poppable, the John Morant of this podcast game. Popping pistols. Not getting arrested. Phil Chad, aka Flint Floss, the big boss, baby, aka Pizza Pig, aka Sex and Loaf, aka Filthy Phil, aka Shamari Dingero Drink, and of course, dang it, I mixed it up. Buy me a car. But anyway, you guys remember it. I'll come back later. And of course, the Jim Khaled. We're back again. Hi guys, how you doing? Don't forget. In fact,
welcome,
no, actually, it's buy me a house.
3 weeks in a row, it's
buy me a
three-peat.
house. Buy me a house. Yeah. 3-peat.
Back to back
Okay,
to back.
let's stop making a big deal of doing what we're supposed to do. We sound like fathers who are like, yo, I was babysitting my son today.
I was taught that no one else is going to celebrate your wins, even if they think that it's normal. It's what you're supposed to be doing. So I will celebrate my wins. Phil, towards the end of last year, we had lost a little bit of consistency. So I'm celebrating that we've got it back.
I don't know. No, to be fair, it's been very difficult. It's not to complain. It's just like we're so busy. There's a lot happening. There's a lot of moving parts.
It's okay,
but
we don't need excuses.
Not even that. Like
we back.
Not even that. By the way, one of the other difficulties I don't get to. Have we figured out the Patreon situation? Have you managed to sort that out? Okay.
We've taken one step towards it.
Oh, jeez Louise. So even that, like we're operating an NPO right now.
We've taken one step towards resolving the situation. That step is getting my wife's permission to use something that needs to be used.
Okay, so hopefully in the next week or so, I'm gonna hit up people. I already started hitting up people. I've already started sending reminders. And it's like, hey guys, just a heads up. prepare your funds accordingly because when the new thing is set up, we're on the back pay. We're charging back pay.
No, standard. You may as well put it aside.
Yeah.
Because we need
So,
back pay.
it's like as we approach month end, we're about 10 days away from the end of the month. Please, guys, budget accordingly. And don't forget your 3-month arrears for 2 broke numbers. Also, it's my birthday. So please, I'm going to be blatant when my birthday arrives. Dan had his birthday a few days ago. He was very quiet about it. I don't want to, impinge. But
You
me,
don't
I'll
have
be
a
nice.
birthday this year, Phil.
Mm-hmm.
We've discussed this on the pod before.
I have a birthday.
Your birthday is 2 years from now.
I have a 2-day extravaganza
Your birthday
planned.
is in 2028, buddy.
I have a 2-day extravaganza planned.
When February 29 rolls around in 2 years.
I have a 2-day extravaganza. So actually, I'm very serious. Podcast listeners, please. Cake. I would appreciate some cake. I'll give you the people to call. Carl's Cakes. Carl knows the cakes I like. So if you guys want to surprise me, give me some Carl's Cake. Chocolate, always a winner. And of course, hard cash. I will not refuse some hard cash. Or a voucher of a meal. Meal vouchers, love those. Those that gave me chocolate during the Christmas break, you are partially exempted. Partially. I still expect something, but you're partially exempted.
You have my chocolates, don't you?
I was going to tell you about it. So Dan, come see.
No. I was told to collect from Phil.
Yeah, and then you see, I told you it was in the office the whole time, right? It's been in here for 2 months. Here's the gift bag that had the chocolate. So
I will collect.
I've already sent out a stern email to the office admin to say, excuse me, guys. Pourquoi? And it's
Are you blaming the office admin? Okay, all right.
No. Dan, there were 2 chocolates, right? There was a dark chocolate and a milk chocolate. I hate dark chocolates. I deliberately took the milk chocolate. Don't worry.
Okay. Anyway, we continue with the pod. Hey, we have some Zimbabweans to celebrate today. Big shout out to Zimbabwe's cricket team, the Chevrons, who, as of today, the day of recording, they have beaten Sri Lanka in the T20 World Cup group stage. In fact, this means that they have finished the T20 World Cup group stage unbeaten after earlier in the week defeating Australia. I saw some Australians crashing out. Guys, no, serious. Like it just came up on my TikTok. No, guys, serious. Okay, what's an Australian accent? I can't remember how it goes.
Get on,
But anyway,
mate.
the point is they were
Wrong.
crashing out.
Yeah, this is unfair,
Oh,
huh?
dingoes, mate. Oh, no, like no offense, but we shouldn't be losing to Zimbabwe. Anyway, we thoroughly walloped Australia. Last week, we celebrated beating Oman. Well, this week, we beat Australia and then Sri Lanka today. The Ireland match got washed out. So that means we went through the entire group stage unbeaten. And we are proceeding to the next stage as a tournament favorites. Ha! Jokes. But who knows? You never know because Zimbabwe is playing some really good cricket. And the thing is, we didn't just beat minnows. You know what I mean? We beat Australia and Sri Lanka. So,
Big wigs.
You shout out to the Chevrons.
Also, didn't Australia get eliminated because of rain?
no. We beat Australia. Ireland got washed out because of rain.
No. But didn't Australia have a chance to qualify for the Super 8s?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't been watching the matches. Why are you asking me detailed questions?
Anyway,
I just saw
then
people
I
celebrating.
can see
was
you
like,
perplexed.
yay!
Don't worry. Your chocolate is safe. Don't worry. I could. Hey, guys, for those listening on audio, Dan was clearly flummoxed. I was like, hey, Dad, don't worry. Your chocolate is safe. Jeez Louise. However, it was not me.
Zimbabwe enters the T20 World Cup Super 8s unbeaten. It's the first time that Zimbabwe has reached this stage of the competition. So we are looking forward to see.
I'm also
where we do.
confused. So, because I'm used to round robin, then you qualify for elimination. So you do a round robin, then you qualify for another round robin. How many round robins are we rounding before we get rounded to the elimination?
I don't know. Yeah. Okay, Phil. In front of you, I know you have Perplexity, you have Gemini, and you have ChatGPT.
I use none. I don't use AI. What are you talking about? How
Check
dare
any
you?
one of those and
How
ask
dare
that
you-
exact question.
How dare you cast aspersions on my good name? I don't use these tools.
While we celebrate the entire cricket team, the Chevrons who have done a great job, we want to shout out two specific names. One, the captain, Sikandar Raza. We've spoken about him many times on this podcast. The homie, friend of the pod, might recognize us if we see him in public. But also want to give a shout out to a standout player, Brian Bennett. Real name, Brian Bennett. Who was...
Wait, I don't understand. His name's Brian
No,
Bennett.
it's-
What is that? An inside joke? I don't get it.
No, it's shortcomings of AI, Phil.
Oh,
He has batted in every match innings without once being dismissed.
what,
Back to-
wait,
back to
what,
back.
what number is he in the order?
Back-to-back half centuries, Australia 64 and 56. Australia 64 of 56 balls, and then Sri Lanka 63 of 48. I think he's the opener. He's the opener. He's the opening batsman.
No, he's doing the thing. Then he's doing the things. He's doing.
Shout out to Brian
You know
Bennett,
what,
man.
Dan? There was a time we were very up on cricket, and then something happened. Anyway,
Anyway, shout out to Brian Bennett. Iceland cricket summed up the global sentiment. Brian Bennett might be the world's most underrated young cricketer. Hey, Zimbabwe will face the West Indies on the 21st of February,
Yo.
then India, then South Africa on the 1st of March.
is Chris Gale still playing? I wonder. Is he still playing?
Yeah, along with Andy Flower. While we are celebrating Zimbabweans doing big things, Phil, what are you doing? Do you know how difficult it is now to
sorry, because
my editing was seeing flames because throughout the whole video, your angle kept changing. You're on one corner of the screen, then the other, and for some reason, you keep touching your microphone.
no, I had to keep touching it because pause. Before I had to keep touching it because I had no stand, so I was literally holding the mic in my chair. But now, as you can see, I've brought in the mic stand. Oh, granted, it's not made for this desk. As you can see, it's like drifting. Anyway, we'll figure this out. These are the trials and tribulations that we're enduring for the listeners. Okay, but we'll.
The problem is you couldn't even hold it steady. Anyway,
That's what she said.
We received the Forbes Africa 30 under 50.
Is it not 30 over 30? There's so many variants.
There's so many variants.
This has now become like the Law and Order SVU. It's like the CSI Miami, CSI New York, Suits
Now-
LA.
Obviously, there are some concerns about the way Forbes moves and the people who appear on these lists.
Usually,
However,
it's the mark of death. Usually.
However, I think we should celebrate certain people, not necessarily because they appeared on the list, but the fact that they appeared on the list makes us see the stuff that they've done.
And
We got the news this week that Angeline Murimirwa and Kudakwashe Maradzika featured on the Forbes Africa 2026 over 30 under 50 list. Angeline is a Zimbabwean feminist CEO of CamFed in Africa, an organization helping millions of girls go to school in Ghana, Malawi, Tanzania, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. She's been doing her thing. She's appeared in a similar list in the past, for example, 2017 on the BBC 100 Women list. And she's won the 2024 Africa Education Medal. Shout out to Angeline Murimirwa. But the reason this caught my attention is because of Kudakwashe Maradzika, who's the other one on the list. She calls herself Kadi Maradzika. I don't know why. It's Kuda, but she calls herself Kadi. Anyway, she is the creator and executive producer of the Netflix original crime series Bad Influencer, as well as several other South African television and film presentations.
Nice.
I never watched Bad Influencer, but I know when it was out, it was all the rage in South Africa, Zim, and various African countries. Apparently, it was about an influencer who was selling fake bags or something like that.
What? That is such a fictional What? That doesn't sound. What? It's crazy. Like, where did she come up with these ideas? This imagination.
Just pulled it out of thin air. Like where did she even get
these far-fetched fantasy shows? Jeez Louise.
Anyway, shout out to Kuda or Kudi if you prefer to be referred to as that. And I will never judge anyone in South Africa who deshonifies their name a little bit. While we're still looking at,
especially if your name starts with a B, tough times.
that's not a shorter name. It's not.
It is. Hey.
But I mean,
I was talking about Bob. I don't know joke.
yeah, so am I.
Brandon. I was talking about Brian Bennett. I don't know who you talking about. Yeah. Anyway, it's crazy, yo. But also,
Time magazine.
Let's be honest, it's an English name, but it's a very short. It's a Zimbabwean name. You know what I mean? There's some English names that are just Zimbabwean. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, quick side note. While we're speaking about names, I don't know why Zimbabwe gets a bad rep. I saw someone post, and I agree with it. Imagine getting stress in Zimbabwe for having a name like Silence by someone South African named Tulani. And valid. It means the same thing. Relax, guys. Tesana knowledge. Love more. If you translate it, it becomes a normal name. Air quotes. So leave us alone, please. Coming back to celebrating some Zimbabweans doing big things. Dr. Dr. Tairo Makadzange. She is a infectious disease physician and immunologist. She's been named into the Time magazine Time 100 Health 2026 list. The Time 100 list is out. Indeed, they have the various sub-lists. So she's in the health list for her work in immunology.
Oh, nice.
Shout out to the good doc. And shout out to some writers who have been shortlisted in the British Science Fiction Association Awards. Jacqueline Nyati, Rutendo Chizodzo, and T.L. Huchu. All three who have received nominations for the British Science Fiction Association Awards for their various books. Rutendo Chizodzo's book is Let Sleeping Hyenas Lie for Best Short Fiction. Jacqueline Nyati is Collective Dreaming, the Schrodinger's Cat Approach to Framing Futures for Best Short Nonfiction. And T.L. Huchu's Secrets of the First School. It's apparently part of a series called the Edinburgh Nights Urban Fantasy Series, which is nominated for Best.
I always wondered, isn't it pronounced Edinburgh?
I don't know, Phil. Isn't there... Let me see. Edinburgh. Yes, Edinburgh. Edinburgh Nights Urban Fantasy Series, nominated for Best Fiction for Young Readers.
Nice,
so,
nice. Dan, let's play a game before you move on. Let's play a game.
Okay, yeah, tell me.
I looked up something. This is what it is. A 16th century large-bellied, narrow-necked stoneware jug, often adorned with a bearded face, named in mockery of an Italian cardinal. What?
Say that again? A what?
A 16th century, large-bellied, narrow-necked stoneware jug, often adorned with a bearded face, named in mockery of an Italian cardinal. What is this?
I cannot even think of a single name for a stoneware jar. A pitcher? No. With a bearded face. Okay. I don't know. What's the answer?
The correct answer is, what is a bellarmine?
Quick follow-up from last week.
You know what? Actually, I should shut up because it's a good thing you're in Cape Town. You're safe. I might be in firing line.
For what? For what? For nothing. Nothing. Anyway, last week, thank you very much to everyone who commented on our discussions from last week. We had some great post-podcast discussions in the group. And we also had a couple of clips. The other one has only just gone up, so you'll have seen it by the time you listen to this episode, if you follow us on the social medias.
Yo, well done, Dan. Shout out to you, man. That was a well placed clip. That's actually a lot of engagement. I was really surprised. I was really surprised at the amount of engagement I got.
I mean, I'm learning how these things are working. You know what I'm saying? First of all, from my wife's page, and then from myself promoting that radio content and stuff. I'm learning how these things are working. Doesn't always land, but sometimes, the one thing that I will say is, I don't know if you've seen the Facebook comments.
Oh no, I haven't. I haven't. No, what would I be doing there? But I shudder to think.
When you get a chance, please do take a look. There's
Do I want to?
the Winky D fans found us, and they're not happy. They're not happy.
Gasp. Okay, well, this is. They haven't found my personal page. Thank God. Wait. I think they might have. Yeah, they found my personal page.
It's not so. There weren't that many. There were a few comments that were very. I think someone was saying, "Hey, I pray for the day when podcasters get his name out of their mouth. Can't you find something else to get clicks on your pod?" I was like, "Yo, jeez, Louise, you must be new around here, man." But anyway, yeah. So please. Play along with the fun. We would love to hear. It's your opportunity to comment directly on the pod, and I'm going to read some of the comments on on this section of the pod. It gives a chance for certain voices to be heard more than just the patrons.
A lot of
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this really seems to numbers. One of my coworkers hit me up and said, "Oh, I saw your podcast." Damn it, that's the problem. Not people know.
So one of the things we spoke about last week was the fact that the NAMA Awards had nominated an AI music video for Outstanding Video of the Year. So we posted that clip on the socials. So I'm going to read some comments. Someone named Tasman Dabe said, "I think AI should have its own category altogether. I don't think it's fair for humans to be competing with machines."
You bloody idiot. Excuse me, listeners. I'm sorry.
Someone else here with a very, very profound comment here said, this is someone named, this is RHJ. "Phil doesn't like greeting me because he is rude." But he's absolutely correct here.
Bobby's an idiot.
So, okay, just a general overall discussion. I think a lot of people were very, and I knew it. We didn't include the sentiment of the clip, but we said it in the pod. In Zim, there's a lot of people who just stop at thinking, guys, this is the new technology. We must accept new technology. And I'm like, yes, that's true.
Beyond that, there are people who actually don't know what AI is. And
yeah.
That's the wild. I was reading some of these comments, and I didn't want to make it sound like people were dumb. Because I think obviously everyone has their own understanding of things. But I'm like, guys, what you're describing is not AI. You're describing an abstract technological advancement that is not this. And what you are saying doesn't apply to this. Maybe the marketing speak that Sam Altman has been spewing might sound like what you're saying, but that isn't the reality. And also, there was a lot of disconnect between us. Like everything was now branched under the umbrella term of AI. And we were specifically talking about generative media and the quality of said generative media and the implications of awarding generative media.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of nuance. I guess it's social media, so everything gets flattened. But yeah, it's a little disheartening.
But no, I mean, it's good because one, it also helps us to find our audience, if you'll allow me to say that.
Mm.
But yeah, shout out to you guys. And I would encourage you, please join in the conversation, the fun. Contrary to what Phil has said, there's no wrong answer. Please feel free to drop in your opinion. In fact, we would love for you.
There may not be a wrong answer, but there is a dumb answer.
No. Please actually insult us in the comments. We need it. So we will have a couple of clips going forward, a couple of clips here and there. And the whole idea is just some of the key thoughts that come out from every episode. Let's see if we can get them out there so we can get people's opinions and so on and so on.
My mental health is hanging on by a thread thinner than Damocles right now.
This is why it's good for us to how do you make a muscle stronger, Phil? By putting it under stress. This is what we do to our mental health. We put it under stress to make it stronger.
I hate you. Have I said that lately? I hate you.
Regularly.
Let the record show I hate it.
Okay, so we've done the housekeeping. Let's get on to this week's discussion points that have been meticulously researched and curated for your listening pleasure.
Been adding and additioning. We've had 3 production meetings. Like, hey, I've just got this idea. What you think? I'm like, yeah, let's add that to the. You know what I mean? Yeah.
For those of you that may be new to the podcast, perhaps you haven't been around in a while, and then you saw a trending video on TikTok and you came back and like, oh, these guys are back, and you came to listen. Allow me to just do a quick refresher of what we want to talk about on this podcast. This is not a podcast about the state of Zimbabwe or politics or world news or finance or whatever. This is not a rage bait podcast where we try to get people canceled. The whole point of this podcast is we feel that between Phil and myself, we have a general common sense understanding in 3 distinct areas. 1 being entertainment, 2 being in the realm of marketing discussions, PR discussions, and so on, and 3, technology. So whenever there's stories that come out in those spaces, we like to share those stories, discuss our opinions, help everyone calm down, and find a common sense take that helps them understand the world better. So, allow me to get into one that was trending this week, Phil. One of our Zimbabwean faves, friend of the podcast, I guess you could say so.
Malloti. Oh, sorry.
Not Malloti, no. Poptain had a rough week this past week. First of all, he posted on his social media platforms what could be described as a mild crash out, it seemed like, when he spoke about deleting his biggest hit, Fadzamtengi, from 2021, featuring Alana Fadzamtengi Wedoro. For those of you who don't speak the chief's language, it means make the buyer of the alcohol happy.
Basically,
Not as catchy.
Basically, glaze.
Yes.
Deride.
Glaze the blesser is what it's essentially saying. Anyway, he deleted it from his YouTube with its millions of views that it had. I mean, actually, I think it was sitting on a million views. He deleted it, and he then posted a statement on his social media platforms that he was freeing himself from the song. Interpretation of that is open, of course. You can see what that potentially means. But he apparently called out several people in that statement of freeing himself, including Mr. Nash Paints, as Phil calls him.
What did he say? What did he say about Boss Mentality?
I mean, he listed several people that he said were the Vatengi Wedoro, who sort of take advantage of artists. It was a long TikTok live. I didn't watch the whole live. I was watching, what I was reading is people who were talking about the live afterwards. There were news stories that were written about it and so on. So I don't have the exact wording.
You know what? I actually would have wanted to hear that because, granted, I don't have an intimate knowledge of Nash Paint's books or financials, but from the ancillary information I've had from conversations I've had with people that have worked with him, work for him, and around him, if there's anyone who's taken L's for the sake of artists, I would say it's him. Maybe he was willing to take those L's for the social capital he gained, but my man took a lot of L's and money, bruh.
In exchange for investing it in music.
No, I mean, he lost a lot of money investing in music, yeah. And I think if there was an upside, it was raising his social profile. But let's be honest, in Zimbabwe, if you have money, it's very easy to build a social profile.
Okay, let's pause on that for a second. So just to I don't disagree with you, but I want to explore the thought just a little bit. So first of all, when Poptain was speaking about Tinashe Mtarisi, he basically said that Tinashe, Mr. Nash Paints, would push his faves. I think his exact phrasing, let me just quickly look it up. Hold on here. Says he accused the businessman of sidelining artists on rhythms he sponsored. For example, only picking Enzo Aishel's Kanjiva from the Avion rhythm and ignoring everyone else, including Poptain. Apparently, he used to get late night threats, etc., etc.
Okay. So, what are the late night threats about? Okay, that part is interesting. The first half I was about to say, wait, are you complaining that someone spent their money and they chose how they wanted to spend their money?
So,
yeah,
like we're focusing. No, okay.
Am I off? Yeah. Am I off?
So let's do the timeline here. First, early in the week, he deleted Fadzamtengi from his YouTube, right? Then he posted that, listen, he felt he was enslaved to this song and he's finally freeing himself from this song. Then, as time went on, he had a couple of very weird social media posts. For example, he was showcasing his karate moves and whatever. Then he had a long TikTok live in which he allegedly crashed out. In fact, in our Patreon group, people were like, yo, is everyone seeing this Poptain live? He's crashing out right now. I thought about joining the live, but I think I was doing something.
You knew the moment your name popped up, you were going to get it in the crossfire. Do I? Because it's my red.
Why would I be in the crossfire? Anyway, so those are two separate things, first of all, right? So I don't think necessarily Fadzamtengi was necessarily a reference to Tinashe Mtharisi. As to the exact nature of the threats, I'm not 100% sure. I just did a quick search over here. He says that he claims that Mtharisi hit him up with late night calls, pressuring him to drop his association with Zim celebs or face being blackballed in the industry. They said it was all to control who gets shine, linking back to the rhythm beef. This is what AI says. So, it could be true, could not be true. Take it or leave it. But I would
Don't we have a
say,
correspondent we can... Who is a youthy we can phone for this update? Where's Godwin?
Just going back to the Tinashe Mtharisi situation. Okay. So quite during our break away from podcasting, otherwise we might have spoken about it, Tinashe Mtharisi very publicly stated that he was stepping away from music. Do you remember that? Did you see that?
Yes, I did. Yes.
And he said that, listen, he had sunk in too much money and it was too much for him and he was now no longer going to be doing music. So he's shutting down the whole music thing and blah, 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 blah. He had, like as Phil rightly said, he had sunk a lot of money into music. However, I would argue that, okay, tell me any other owner of a paints company whose name you know.
But that's the point.
Yes.
No.
And that's kind of what I'm saying.
No. So let me put it to you this way. It's like, it's just a tier below. Now, kind of proving my point, which is ironic, but the man that does the air conditioning, who's got like a white streak in his hair,
George.
Yeah, what's it?
George Billionaire.
Yes. Kind of proving the point, but if he was just a smidge more intentional, he'd be a household name in Zimbabwe. And even
I wouldn't say George is a household name, but
yeah, but I'm saying if it was a smidge more intentional, he could be. Because he's already got a bit of, he's got a very medium, I think he's got like 50,000 followers on Instagram. He's got a decent following on Facebook. If he was a little more intentional, he could be that.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of the same, like, let's say Nigel Chanagira. Nigel Chanagira was the head of a bank, right? A banker. By definition, some of the most boring people on the planet. Granted, that was before, whatever happened, which we won't get into because mental health is important. But yeah. So I say that if you're intentional with it and you speak to a publicist and that's what you want to do, you can become very famous. It's like Ken Sharp. He's a realtor. Not necessarily a public thing, but you can be a popular realtor a la Donald Trump, or you can be a realtor who moves in the shadows and has a lot of money, like the Kushners. You know what I'm saying? They only be... No, but the Kushners only came to prominence because the son married into the Trump family. Before that, did we know who they were? Did the general American public know who they were? I would say not really.
I agree. So I'm not saying you need to be notorious. There's plenty of rich people or successful people who are not, who don't have the same notoriety.
Exactly.
But some choose to go that route. And it is a viable business route where the founder is the face and the brand and is the one who's in all the news and is getting profiled and so on. And it looks like that's what Tinashe Mtharisi went through. He's got just under 500,000 followers on Instagram, over 1 million on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's any others. So nigh on 1.5 million, if not counting, I don't know where he would be on TikTok and other platforms, but 1.5 million followers. That is a huge potential market to advertise. How much would Astra pay? How much would Astra pay to have an engaged audience of 1.5 million? People who actually know your company and are interested in things that you post. They would pay a lot. And would it be equivalent to what Tinashe has invested in music over the years?
I'm with you, right? But it's apples to oranges because paint is a very unique business, and I know this because I became intimately familiar with the
That's so
paint.
funny.
What's this?
Why are you familiar with the paint business? But yeah, go on.
My old boss bought a paint company, so I had to work through the financials and figure out the marketing. And that's why I realized paint is actually incredibly lucrative. You know, paint by default you're operating at a minimum. If you operate at anything below 43%, like anyone will look at you like, are you stupid? Like literally with paint you can operate at that margin, so it prints money very easy.
As in manufacturing or
No, as retail,
or?
as retail, and but also paint is a commodity. So as you've rightfully said, when you start building enough brand equity and people now trust the brand, so they trust your Dulux, they trust your. I'm forgetting out the names, but anyway, and they're like, yo, I want this brand of paint because I believe it lasts longer and it's stronger and so forth. You have a very valid point, but I can't tie that to what he is doing. I can tie brand awareness where people know of the paint, but can you recall any messaging outside of people going to the store and saying, okay, I know Dulux, I know Nash paints, but is there any messaging that says, I know that this Duraware outdoor coat from Nash paints is stronger or better than the Dulux Duracoat? I can't point to that. And
I mean,
you get so you get what I'm saying? So like, I feel like you're right. You get awareness, you get notoriety, but does it really help your sales? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I haven't really looked at that specific business case, but I would say it's not as large. What I do think, and those 1.5 million followers you just mentioned, they don't care about color swatches. They don't care. They don't care about PVC.
That may be true, Phil, but if you're advertising on a billboard or you're advertising on TV, the majority of your audience will not care. What you're doing is you're trying to look for the few that do care. So if you already have a platform, and this is obviously it's a lot more complex, right? I'm simplifying it. I understand I'm simplifying what is a very nuanced and complicated subject as to how someone's personal brand could translate into the selling of business and so on. I completely understand that that's not a very straightforward, line. But I am saying that it certainly didn't harm the business. If anything, in fact, not only did it not harm, if I think of major paint companies or major construction companies in Zimbabwe, I will think of Nash Paints. And it's not because I've ever stepped into a Nash Paints. It's not because I've ever, it's not because of any advertising they've done. It's because of Tinashe Mtarisi and his notoriety and the fact that he is the founder and CEO of Nash Paints. That's the only reason I know Nash Paints. And I'm sure that's the case for many people. I'm not in the market for paints at the moment, but at some point when I might be, and I'm like, okay, I want to compare some prices, I will definitely think of Nash Paints, just thinking of it. And I'm sure that's true of a lot of people. So my point is, I agree with you actually, that he probably took a lot of L's in music, but I don't think it was completely one-sided or one-directional.
No. I'm not saying that. I admit there are positives. There's social capital, for example, and sometimes that's really valuable. Just having the social capital where you have 1 million people following you, and that then carries on to other things because now you're getting invited into rooms that you normally wouldn't be in. When you pitch up at a conference or you pitch up in a meeting or you pitch up anywhere, there's now a presence, there's gravitas to who you are because, it's Tinashe Mtarisi. You know what I mean? It's not just, I think that's the guy that sells paint. It's like, snap, first name basis. That's the man that's the man that does A, B, C, D, E. So I agree with you 100%. I do still think though, whatever his calculus was, he was losing a lot more money than he was making. I as much as I love Saint Flo and Nisha T, I don't think they were keeping the lights on at the Nash stores.
So his major artists that were signed under Nash TV, I guess it would be Nash TV, right? That was handling the music. So Saint Flo, Nisha T's, a couple other artists like Rema 96 and so on. In December 2025, he announced that he was shutting down Nash TV. He was pulling all money from all music projects. He would not be using money anymore. He did say he might give like guidance and so on for artists, but no more money in arts. These artists were basically hit. Nisha T's apparently she was emotional. She cried tears, called it a major blow and a shock. Saint Flo, I don't know how Saint Flo is gonna go.
I think, yeah, you know what? It's very difficult right now because I'm playing a lot of catch up in work wise and labor wise. So I don't want to be like that biblical tale of, um, ignoring the log in my eye and calling out the straws in other eyes. But I do worry because some of the agreements that we've seen or I've seen or I've heard about, not the greatest.
Mhm.
And they need a great deal of investment or they need a great deal of cash flow because of how they were structured. And that is a very difficult thing to have in Zimbabwe right now. As Poptain has clearly, Poptain isn't even in Zimbabwe anymore. I think, as far as I know, Poptain has now moved to Dallas, unless he's there temporarily. But
Okay.
the stresses and strains and I would say the frustration that he has experienced being a Zimbabwean artist still lingers and hangs with him in Dallas. And it's tough, man. Even like me, for example, it's tough because the rewards just aren't there sometimes, and you've really got to grit your teeth and go through it. I do believe it's unfortunate because if Nash Paints had done what he had done, but he had done it with a plan, and no offense to the people that were there, but if he had done it with a plan with the people that were equipped to maximize the return, I think Nash TV would undoubtedly be one of the bigger, not certainly, definitely the biggest label in Zim, but one of the bigger labels in Southern Africa. Can you imagine if they had properly monetized like Hello Mwari? Like let's just start that Hello Mwari. Let's not even
Like,
get to the same stuff.
yeah, I get what you're saying, and I'm saying if they had gone certain directions and had certain,
Fam, I remember there were conversations I was having and they weren't collecting. Okay, yeah, I can't say. But it was, dude, I can't say this, but fam, money, there was money, a lot of money was being left on the table in a lot of ways.
Anyway, going back to Poptain. So during these crash outs that he was having on his TikTok, it wasn't just a single TikTok live. Apparently, it was several TikTok lives. He was talking about the industry blackballing him or sabotaging him. So not just Tinashe Mtarisi, but others. He called out figures like Winky D, talking about how Winky doesn't want to collaborate with him or something like that. He apparently mentioned Winky D quite a lot. He praised Freeman, so that's cool. When people started doing some digging, allegedly he was served court summons for eviction over unpaid rent earlier this week.
This is Poptain.
So yeah, considering he's in Dallas, does that mean?
Well, I guess, yeah. If you're not in the country, why would you be paying rent? So, well, did they mention the address?
Let me pull up the article. It's
give me the neighborhood because I'll know which house it is.
I don't have the neighborhood. I have the name of the landlord who was asking for his money.
Is the landlord a woman?
No, the landlord's name is Elvin.
Okay, so I don't know that one. Okay. So was Simon and Theodore unavailable for comment?
I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So then some questions came in. Okay. So Poptain, isn't he? Okay, what are the implications of him just deleting a song from YouTube, a hit song?
Okay, for who?
Because number one, it's featuring someone. There's what is the ownership structure? I guess we don't know, but I'm wondering
I mean, well, once again, we haven't seen the agreements. We don't know. But Zimbabwe is the Wild West. People do what they want. I mean, I don't even know if there's split sheets for this song.
Yeah. Well, anyway, thoughts and prayers for Poptain. I'm sure this was a big story. It wasn't like all the news articles. There's multiple articles in the Herald, for example, that are like, is Poptain okay? Is he in trouble? There was an opinion piece which was saying, let's not rush to judge Poptain in H Metro.
There's stuff I do know about Poptain because we've worked together, and he was very close with the artists that I've worked with. I know that he's struggled with, I think, just the stresses of life, and I think he would have been helped or supported or what's the word I'm looking for? He would have benefited from some mental health support. This isn't the first time he's done something like this. I think this is to a greater extent. He's done this before, but I think it's mainly because of the stresses and the frustrations. Like speaking for someone that knows him, I know like he's been frustrated before, and I totally sympathize and understand with him. Like it's incredibly frustrating when you've got hits, like you've got bangers, and you're looking at the books and you're like, what am I doing? Like this is like the numbers aren't making sense right now.
Yeah. I mean, these articles feature very heavily on mental health as well. So, I mean, without knowing the exact details, it does seem, and it's something that we've spoken about on this podcast before. I think a lot of artists, especially when they find some level of success, do need that kind of support because.
Yeah. And I will say, from my interactions with him, he's always seemed like a really good-hearted, kind-hearted guy. Very, very straight, very direct. I actually appreciate that. He's never, been Hollywood about stuff. Like if he says he's going to be somewhere, he's going to be there. If you can't make it, he'll let you know I can't make it. That type of thing. So I wish him all the best. I'm a little heartbroken by this, but yeah, I hope he's okay.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be all right. I hope so. Okay, let's move on to our next story. Let's talk about Phil's favorite influencer on these internets. Someone by the name of Millicent Tsitsichimonyo, better known by her social media name Malloti.
And let me be honest with you guys. This is how washed I am, but I'm going to try play along. I think maybe I'd heard her name once before, but I'd never registered. And then this is the first time I was able to put the name to the face this week. Continue.
So let me tell you, I've also heard her name a couple of times. And the context in which I've heard her name is when Zimbabweans are trying to compare, you know the whole self-hating vibe that sometimes exists here. And there'll be jokes, it'll be jokes like living versus kurarama, or Penyu versus life, and those kind of jokes where they're trying to show the white life versus us blacks or something. There's like this self-hating vibe that sometimes goes on. I would see her name whenever there was anyone doing content in Zim that came across as air quotes classy, and people were like, yeah, not like Malloti or something. So I saw that name. I didn't even know who she was, what she does, but from having seen that name a couple of times.
You started associating. There was now a word association.
Yes, there was now in my mind is like there's someone who does content in Zim who apparently is perceived by many Zimbabweans as being low class.
Okay. Well, while you do this, I'm going to look up one of her reels and we're going to play it live so that we can just get an understanding of who she is. You know what I mean? Because it's not fair to talk about someone without really understanding who they are as a person. Their essence, if you will. But continue, Dan.
So I looked up, okay, I asked, this is me asking Grok, by the way. How did Malloti become famous? She's a 20-something Zimbabwean dancehall musician, beauty influencer, and socialite who's built a rep for flashy vibes. Think money counting videos, shading haters, and that unapologetic baddie energy. She's Harare-based now, but bounced between Zim and SA. Apparently she's no stranger to courts. She's popped up in Harare magistrate courts for unrelated stuff to the story that we're about to talk about, and she's got bail, and she's constantly in controversies. She blew up in the Zim scene as a dancehall artist. Apparently, what did she do? Music collabs, beauty tips, personality on the social medias, flashy lifestyle posts, as well as being in the news for court appearances.
Okay, interesting. So I've loaded up her TikTok. I've placed it in order of popularity. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to play her 3 most popular videos. If they're not resonating, we're going to skip. So I'm starting with 1. We're going to go to 2 and 3. And then hopefully we'll have a better idea of who she is as a person. Let me see. How can I can I share my screen? No, you can't really see. Okay, you just have to go with audio. You just have to do this.
I'll go with audio, yeah.
This is a
Can you
video.
describe for us what's happening?
This is a video of her dancing with her popular collaborator, Hulundenge.
Say no more.
I do know.
Say no.
So they're doing a bit of a dance routine, like a kid in play in a parking lot, doing their song there. Okay, that's nice. Okay, let's go to the next one. More Hulundenge. They're now in a bedroom. She's sitting down on the bed. He's behind her. He seems to be counting a fat stack of money. At first glance, it looks like $3,000 to $4,000 in big face $100 bills. Okay, this just seems like good promotion and marketing of the hit song that we played on the podcast last year. Okay. Oh wow. Okay. Oh wow. We've now seen a shift in tone, Dan. A shift in tone. So they're both done up to the nines. Hulundenge is in a lovely black ensemble with some rhinestones, maybe some bedazzling on his jacket. She's in a lovely dress. It's got a bit of cleavage showing, but it's very modest nonetheless. Lovely hairdo, lovely thing, and they're walking into a tent. It looks like they're attending an affair, an evening affair of sorts. And they're just walking, and somehow this video has done numbers. Okay, I'm still okay.
Okay, can you look for a video where she's talking, all right?
I'm looking. Okay, there's a video of her pregnant, very pregnant, with Hulundenge once again. Are these like the Dan and Phil of the dancehall scene? Because every time I'm seen in public, like, where's Dan? I'm like, you guys, like, he's got a wife, he's got a whole life. Anyway, okay, she's talking now.
At Sangane at 8 p.m. I'll be performing live Malungile Data Movement. So that support the Malungile movement, guys. Let's meet in 2 hours. And then Ripapo, Nemanangende, Shibra dance.
So just to describe this, I don't know if you can see this, Dan. So she's sitting down. She's backstage. She's obviously a very tatted up lady. I will admit she is quite pretty, beautiful. She does have a neck tattoo, a very prominent neck tattoo right here. So I in the last TikTok I mentioned, I think I explained that she was pregnant, heavily pregnant. The baby has now popped out in this TikTok. So she's
in the TikTok.
No. The baby is now a newborn. She's breastfeeding this young whippersnapper, and as she's breastfeeding, she's promoting her upcoming performance in a few hours, and she's like, "You'll catch me there with my toddler. Be sure to attend." So I don't know if the child was also on stage, like in like a stroller. I don't know what the situation is there. But okay, I think we've now covered it. So I'm assuming this child is Hulundenge's because this child, the face is very Hulundengerish.
Anyway, the reason we bring up Malloti is because for some reason she was in the news this week. What is that reason? Turns out that the South African Police Service have issued a warrant for her arrest. She's allegedly wanted for a robbery from back in 2017, November 2017. We don't have any details on that robbery, but they want her. Allegedly, she then posted "Catch me if you can" afterwards on her social media, as well as "You can't blame my past no more." Fun fact.
Wow, I would love to be her lawyer. This is great. Because I was going to say she had plausible deniability because the warrant had a different name. But
fun fact, she has previously admitted on social media to stealing nearly 5 million rand.
Oh my God.
Back at age 13 with her crew. But she was not arrested because she was a kid. And later she turned state witness to another case. So she was not given any charges.
Wait, she admitted to being a rat? And the Zimbabwean streets, let it, like Zimbabwean streets are just letting rats out in the street, man. What happened to the code, dog?
No, this ain't the streets of Compton or Chicago or something. What do you mean?
She turned state witness. That's crazy.
State witness. Anyway, there's some news for you guys. She's wanted by the South African Police Service.
Yo, okay, this one gets deeper the more I dig into it. Like, you know what? I really do feel, and we're partly to blame for this. I do feel like if we had really good entertainment journalism, we'd have some entertaining stories. Like, can you hear this one? Like, can you imagine if that guy, what's his name, Xavier, the guy that was like, this is Dan, and he had a prop.
Yes.
Can you imagine if they were telling the story of Malloti? That would go triple platinum on the streets.
Or that other dude from TikTok who's like, this is until
Yeah.
I go to bed every night with that playing from my wife's side. Yeah.
Dude,
She loves
I really
crime
do.
stories.
You know what? Actually, Dan, actually, I'm actually serious. Get out of my side. I think you've been talking about gaming the algorithm, Gigi. Like, fam, what if we started doing that? Anyway, we could actually, it's like that other guy. There's that guy, I forget his name, who does like the weekly roundups of Zim News.
Zim Decoded. He does well. Shout out to Zim Decoded.
Andirambi. Oh, right. There. The devs are pulling an all-night in the office, and there's been pizza.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful stuff. This is why I shall never be a dev. Anyway, let's keep it moving, Phil. Let's keep it moving. We got some gaga stories to get past. Hey, I came across this story this week and I found it fascinating. While we're in the realm of crime, I don't know, crime. Let's say courts. This week I read that High Court Justice Siyabona Msitu ruled last month that Jump Trampoline Park in Pomona was negligent in an accident from a couple of years ago. I forgot when it was now.
2.5 years ago.
2023.
Should be 2.5, almost 3 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, from 2023, where national gymnast Rebecca Nezuru, then 16, broke her neck and fractured her spinal cord after she fell through the open net onto a concrete floor while she was jumping there. And she has been, according to the judge, awarded $1.6 million, which seems to be the largest personal injury judgment in Zimbabwe. We haven't been able to find another one. There might be one if anyone knows of one.
I think the largest one before this one was that injury at an OK store like 4 years ago.
Yeah. So 1.6 million is a lot. So obviously this gymnast was obviously no longer able to perform, and basically the justice said you can't put value on a human life. So that's the situation.
No, there's the appeal. Also, I think initially they were arguing for 6 million, which they didn't get.
5 million, yeah. Then so right now, Jump Trampoline Park have filed an appeal at the Supreme Court.
Have the insurance company.
So we shall see what happens. But, mad. I've never been to Jump. I must admit, sometimes I've looked at it on the Instagrams and the TikToks and be like, oh, that looks fun. One day I should go. Nope. Not going to do that now.
So I think I raised the story in the group, and I don't mind sharing it here. So soon after this incident, actually, because we had already planned to take the kids there, we went with the kids to Jump. So there was a bunch of parents, and I was babysitting my nieces and my nephews. So we went there, and I obviously did it. I'm a kid at heart. I love to play. So I was having a good time on the trampoline, doing my somersaults, teaching the kids what I do, and I fell through the gap in the springs and the trampoline twice. Cut up my leg, which I've never done. I've been to like the bounce in South Africa when I used to stay there damn near every weekend. That was how I used to get my cardio in. I've never experienced that before. And when you go back and you read the story, the reason why she damaged her spine is she fell through the gap between the springs and the trampoline, which to me let me know that a couple weeks ago, someone who was a regular customer had an injury. You guys saw that injury. You knew what caused that injury, and you did nothing to fix the problem that caused the injury.
How do you know? Maybe it was even worse before you went there.
Kind of case in point, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, well, fascinating that happened, and I was so sad to hear that about that. Shame, that poor young gymnast, getting ready to compete for country.
And when you think about it, like when you look at lifetime earnings of a gymnast, right? And when you look at the lifetime expenditure of looking after someone who's a paraplegic or quadriplegic, as someone who has a family member who is in that state, fam, 1 million is not a lot of money. Because keep in mind, it's still going to get taxed. You're still going to pay your lawyer fees. You don't know how they're paying this out. For the rest of your life, you're going to have to pay someone to be your caregiver. Whether you're paying them in cash or they're paying in kind, they're going to have to be your caregiver. So, we live in a very, all things being equal, right? Your insurance is there to cover this, which is why the insurance are part of the countersuit. At what point does insurance say, okay, you paid for insurance, you need insurance, we are doing what insurance is doing, why do they always have to make life difficult?
Yeah. Zim is always like that. So, I mean, I was just reading what the judge said. The judge said, the court cannot ignore the magnitude of the injuries suffered by the plaintiff. The evidence demonstrates that her physical, psychological, and emotional suffering will be lifelong. The defendant's negligence triggered a chain of events whose consequences she will carry permanently. So that's why they offered that amount.
And I don't think it was a coincidence. It might have been triggered by this organization. It might have just been social media, users being social media. But I don't know if you noticed, around about this time this judgment came out, they started sharing videos of this young girl doing her training at the jump park. So I don't know, for those of you who may or may not know, as a gymnast, one of the low impact ways you can get really accustomed to doing flips and tumbles and all that stuff is on a trampoline, because it's less impact on your joints. So what might seem ridiculous to other people is commonplace to them, because they're doing triple flips, back flips, blah, 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 blah. Not even counting, I don't know if you ever watched Olympic trampolining. That's amazing, where those guys are doing all that stuff. So she's clearly doing this as a gymnast. And the comment was, or the narrative was, look at how unsafely she was already doing. Look at these unsafe maneuvers she was practicing at the trampoline park. It was only a matter of time before she got injured. And that was the foulest thing I've seen in a while.
It's obvious. Apparently the argument of the defendant was that the place was 95% safe.
Oh.
So the judge ruled the suggestion that a place may be 95% safe offers no defense, where the remaining 5% exposes patrons to grave foreseeable danger. So she didn't injure herself. There was negligence that caused said injury. That's why she's been awarded such an amount of money.
Yeah.
Now, that having been said, I'm just even reading this case just made me feel cold. Nope. I'd always thought, no, it'll be fine. Make a date out of it. We go jump a little bit on that.
No, for me, that was my first and my last time. I was never going back there. The only reason I went is because we had alrery promised 20, dang near 20 kids, and I didn't want to be that annoying, super woke person. So I was like, okay, let's go. And also, I genuinely wanted to see what could have necessitated such an injury. And within 10 minutes, I was like, oh, I can definitely see how someone could get injured here. This place, they cut corners everywhere.
Story coming out of Bulawayo this week. It was shared in our Patreon group. One of Bulawayo's most beloved dining institutions, the Ferry Cafe, burned to the ground.
As a big back, this hit hard. This hurt. As a big back, this hurt.
Completely gutted by fire between 3 and 4 a.m. That was Wednesday this week. The cause of the fire is still unknown. Apparently, Ferry Cafe had become a cultural landmark for Bulawayo's food scene, known for its seafood boils, sushi, Sunday buffets, and accessible prices. Sad news coming out from the city of Scars.
Yeah, man.
Did you see the story? Let's switch a little bit to international news, Philip. I don't know if you've been following football. I haven't really. I'm more of an Olympics person myself.
Oh yeah, of course. How? Hey, actually, we need to come back. Fam, have you been following the curling beef between Sweden and Canada?
I've only just watched one of my favorite YouTubers is Cleo Abram. She's this lady who does science videos, and she just did one on curling, which I'm like 3/4 of the way through.
No, but are you following the beef between
Phil.
Canada and Oh, that's actually no. I'm actually. If I haven't been so busy, I'm going to catch up this weekend. So I've set aside time this weekend to catch up on all the Olympic stuff because I want to watch that. But what I've seen, it's piping hot. The drama is piping hot.
Yeah. Anyway,
long story short. Okay. Long story short is the Canadians were breaking the rules. They were doing double touches beyond the demarcation line. The Swedes were not having it. They were not having it. And also the Swedes have invented a new curling technique that like round the curl. What do they call it? The curling puck? Is that
the stone.
The curling stone. Actually, curling is a wild sport, but it's actually very fun to watch. It's like very relaxing. It's like Zen. It's like watching a Zen garden, but at 3x speed. You know, like
it's like watching someone doing chores, Phil.
Exactly, but it's very. I actually enjoy doing that. I actually like watching people do chores sometimes. You know, I think I told you this. One of my back in the day, I need to actually get back into it. Like I really wanted to calm myself down. Is I'd lay down and I'd watch chiropractic videos, and they'd put like microphones like right there. Like, okay, so where does it hurt? Right here. And then you just do this. You do this. Oh yeah, you feel that tension.
This is the whole video. An audio podcast.
Yeah, I know, but this is the audio that they hear. It'll be like this. And they're like, okay, breathe in. And out. And in. Oh, then you. Oh my God, the release is so good. Yeah. So curling is like that.
Allegedly, curling is a gentleman's sport, or so they call it, because you score yourself, you report your own fouls, or something like that.
Wait, curling? You're trying to get it as close to the bullseye as possible, and you're knocking the other people's pucks away from the bullseye.
Yes, but when you're scoring, you score not only the stone that is closest to the center, but you're also scoring how many of your stones are ahead of opponent's stones, and there's a scoring system involved. So you're supposed. Listen, I'm just telling you what I watched in this YouTube video.
So
I'm sure at the Olympics they formalize it.
This is why the scandal. This is why the scandal is obviously so riveting, because these guys are cheating. And then I saw the other video of dudes putting acid in their peepees so that their suits get bigger, so they have more flappage when they're doing that ski flying thing. I've heard this.
Apparently, yeah, I saw that. Apparently, the Olympics are lit this year. But anyway, I only mentioned the Olympics
and obviously Twitter being
Twitter,
and it becoming like this horny cesspool. Now they discovered that athletes who spend a lot of time working on their legs might have thick legs and thick glutes. Surprise, surprise. One thing I did find incredibly hilarious. Did you see the commentator from France who was talking about the Israeli bobsled team?
No.
Okay, so long story short, I think he was doing it for Canal or it has to be Canal. So he's a French commentator. The Israeli bobsled team, it's a 4-man team, are doing their run. Mm-hmm. And obviously, it's bobsled or any sport. It's always the typical, the team is led by Dennis Dubé. This is his 12th Olympics. He's retiring after this year. During the rear is Phil Chard. He's a little overweight, but his weight will help with the downhill slopes. Directing the bobsled, we've got Tasman Dube, as you call her. She's skilled, blah, 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 blah. And then as you guys go down, they'll maybe do a backstory. They'll talk about the timing. They'll be like, okay, so they're 300s of a second behind the timing. Let's see if they can pick up their pace, blah, blah. The usual stuff. My man spent the whole thing saying, yeah, the Israeli team is led by this dude who's in the IDF, and he's gladly admitted to being a war criminal. And let's go through some of his quotes. So literally the whole illusion is saying, oh yeah, and I quote, the people in Gaza must die. So this is who you guys are supporting. Oh, by the way, this is another one of his quotes. Like literally the whole run. I had to stand.
I ain't mad at it. Okay, I'm going back to what I actually was introducing in terms of a story here. And this is a story coming through from football, Phil, not from the Olympics. In a Champions League knockout playoff first leg match between Benfica and Real Madrid, shortly after Real Madrid's Brazilian forward Vinicius Jr. had scored, Benfica winger, who is Argentinian, might I add, allegedly put his team jersey over his mouth and called Vinicius Jr. a monkey, or allegedly the Spanish-Portuguese word for monkey, mono. Vinicius heard it and immediately ran to the ref and, started pointing, officer, it was him. And it caused like huge waves in the football community. The referee then activated FIFA's anti-racism protocol, crossed his arms to acknowledge the allegation, and a disciplinary investigation has been opened into Prestiani, 20 years old, playing for Benfica from Argentina, which, by the way, this same week he got his Argentina call-up.
Wait. Are you saying that there's racists in Argentina?
He denied the accusation. Benfica's boss is Jose Mourinho. And after the match, Jose Mourinho was seen speaking to Vinicius right after the match. So everyone was saying, wow, Jose Mourinho has always been there for us. He's always been there for black people, etc. But afterwards, his statement was, let's say it was defending his player. And people were very upset. There were a lot of people that came out. Vinicius Jr. came out and called racist cowards. Mbappe came out as well and was like showing support. It was like a whole thing. And, they like all the CBS, the Golazo show actually took like a 5 to 10 minute monologue to talk about denouncing racism because of everything that had happened and all of that. So apparently anti-racism charity Kick It Out has accused Benfica manager Jose Mourinho of gaslighting Vinicius Jr. after he suggested that the Real Madrid star had provoked his own abuse with his celebration. Which, by the way, has been, for people who are saying that it's not racism, their primary thing that they're saying is Vinicius' celebration after he scored was inflammatory. So people reacted in anger. So it's kind of your own fault. Which everyone's like, it's your own fault that what happened? That people acted. How did they act? It's his own fault that he did what? No, you guys are just getting at, can you see where we're going? That's a whole separate conversation.
Damn, I don't know, but we need to. In fact, I should have put it on the soundboard. Why are you distracting us when the Dow Jones is at 50,000?
So the reason I thought this story was worth talking about is primarily because of Jose Mourinho's position. I'm mixed, Phil, as you're aware.
Yeah, I am. Yes, I've met both your parents, so I figured that out.
And I don't want to be angry at the world all the time, even though it gives so many reasons to be, right? So I often want to find the best in people, or to give people benefit of the doubt, or to hope that, maybe they just need to learn more. Maybe they're ignorant, but time and again, people prove me wrong. And Jose Mourinho was a fave for many black football fans. People love Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho fans, memes are triple platinum on black Twitter. And I saw a lot of people very disappointed that Jose Mourinho didn't. He could have also just said nothing. But the fact that he actually went, he actually went in the direction of gaslighting Vinicius and putting out statements about how it was Vinicius's fault that, he was called a monkey or whatever. If you want to hear the exact quote, he says, when you score a goal like that, you celebrate in a respectful way. And then when he was asked, he was asked whether Vinicius had actively provoked the home support in Benfica squad. He said, yeah, I believe so. The words they exchanged, Prestiani with Vinicius, I want to be independent. I don't comment about it. Then he was asked, you were seen. he says you were seen speaking to Vinicius after the game. They're like, what were you talking about? He says, I told him that when you score a goal like that, you just celebrate and walk back. And then when he was arguing about racism, I told him the biggest person in the history of this club was black. This club, the last thing it is racist. So if in his mind it was something in relation to that, this is Benfica, there's something wrong, because it happens every stadium that Vinicius plays in, something happens. Always. I'm saying that it was a good 50 minutes of football, millions of people watching around the world. Crazy goal, absolutely crazy goal, then game over.
This is the whitest thing I've ever heard, yo. You know, at times like this, I always defer back to something a close friend of mine who was a woman said, which is like, yo, Phil, I love you, I trust you, but at the end of the day, you're a man. So just a heads up. If ever I have to choose between your word and the word of a woman, whether I know her or not, I'm taking her side because you're a man. And I think that applies across the board. We should not put our trust, as the Bible says, do not put your trust in false idols. And
yeah, I get that. I get that sentiment.
I get that sentiment because as a white person, you can get very defensive, and as a man, you can get very defensive about something that you shouldn't be defensive about, or something that you should see it fully and in totality. But also, it's doubly difficult because of how, if you structure your management, especially with Mourinho is very big on that siege mentality type of management, right? Where everyone's against us, we've got to go and prove them wrong. If now people are against you and you don't do what he has become known to do, you lose the player's trust. And ultimately, as nice as he may be, as a person, or as well-meaning as he may be, if he has to choose between his job and his job security and looking after a black player that's not going to contribute to his bottom line, I'm assuming Mourinho is going to go for his self-interest.
Which is fair, right? And my thing is, of course, you're the manager of this club. I don't expect you to denounce your employers. I don't expect you to attack your players. You could also just say nothing. That's
the thing. If you say nothing, you go back to the locker room and your players are looking at your side because like you don't have our back.
When I say nothing, what I mean is, okay, now you're being interviewed after the match. You're like, did you see the incident? Like, yes, I saw the incident, but I didn't hear what was said. I would just like to reiterate that we as an institution, we stand by our values where all people are equal. Okay, but Vinicius accuses him of racism. Look, I know the boy. I don't think he would have been racist, but I don't know exactly what happened. I wasn't there. Leave it at that. Let that be the debate. Let people be angry that no, but you should say this or should. Don't come out there and say, no, it's Vinicius's fault. Like, come on, bro. Anyway, that having been said, I thought that it's worth just bringing up as a reminder that, ultimately, people will pursue their self-interest. And as long as, if it's ever going to be a you versus me situation, watch out. But still, I don't think it's wrong to look for the good in people. But yeah, that was a disappointing moment, and down with that Argentine 20-year-old Prestiani. How did Prince Andrew was arrested?
How did I think about it? I think there's a lot more people who can give more concise. It's also weird, right? Because I think there might be one now. I'm not speaking, but it's like we've got politicians resigning in Norway. We've got monarchy in Sweden having to step down, will never be key, or will never assume the throne because of what's happening in the Epstein files. We've got multiple people resigning from their jobs and getting fired. We've got a former royal now being arrested for their involvement in the Epstein files. No one in a certain countries even gone to trial. I mean, as we discussed last week, like victims aren't even being interviewed. Interesting times we're living in. Interesting times.
Quick aside, when you said Epstein files, it just reminded me of a tweet I saw earlier when I was researching this Poptain story. And it said, yo, Tinashe Mtarisi was named in the Poptain files. So that's a whole other story. Coming back to these files, you know what this reminds me of? There was a scene in Batman, which was the third Batman movie in the Christopher Nolan trilogy. There was
Dark Knight Rises.
Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises, yes.
Yeah.
Opening scene in Dark Knight Rises. And let me remind you of it.
No! They expect one of us in the wreckage, brother.
Have we started the fire?
Yes. The fire rises.
As far as I'm concerned, Prince Andrew and the one or two people that have been thrown to the dogs are the one or two that are expected in the wreckage, brother.
Guys, I don't want this to
Don't you think it's Phil?
I was gonna
quick existential rant. For humanity to move forward, we have to live by a certain set of unspoken, unenforced rules. And it only makes sense that I'm following them and you're following them and everyone else is following them, right? There are air quotes enforced rules, but those enforced rules are only enforced based on the unenforced rules as well. What happens if more and more people stop following said unenforced rules? For example, no, you can't just kidnap a president from another country. I mean, you can't, there's no, I don't know if there's a law, you just can't. Okay. I feel like more and more people are breaking away from the unsaid, unspoken, unenforced rules of polite company and what is supposed to be done. And there's nothing we can do about it. It just is what it is.
So here's my thought. Granted, I'm not a well-educated anthropologist or thinker, but I've always been of this belief. As far as I could develop and understand this idea coherently, is those rules have never existed. They've never existed. So war, the act of war, is not illegal. Think about it. If you and I engaged in the similar acts that someone would partake on in the battlefield, one of us or both of us would go to jail. But on a state level, if we did the same thing, that is not illegal. Right?
Mm-hmm.
War crimes, as we know, are prosecuted very selectively. There was a great talk and discussion I saw about how human capital still, or the movement of humans as capital, still runs the world. It's the same reason why certain countries in the Middle East are very cheap to live in, because they still have slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Indentured servitude, or just straight up slavery and servitude, still exist in the world. So when you now have someone who's clearly an asset for a very powerful country that seems to be dictating a lot of foreign policy for a lot of powerful nations, and you're wondering, why does this small country that only came to exist in 1946 control all of this? It's very interesting, very weird. You joked about it last week. Why does this one country seem to own all of the VPNs? It's very weird. I don't know if you've been reading into the conspiracy theories and the stories where there's credible evidence. At the very least, Epstein funded the code base for Bitcoin. That's the conservative, provable fact. The wild
Isn't that who's making a documentary about that? I forgot who now. Someone we don't like. But anyway, continue.
So, people in power, people who run this world, have been doing a lot of depraved things for a very, 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 very long time. The only thing that they've been good at is obfuscating our view of what they're doing. So, I think as a decent human being who tries to do right by the world, you are very right in saying, this is not right. This isn't fair. But I don't think there's any regression or there's any devolving, as it were, to or away from norms. I think those norms have always been a farce to keep us docile and malleable. They've never played by those rules. They don't care. And we're seeing it front and center now. And what we're seeing now is what people in 1945, because I'm having this thought. I don't see in 100 years from now how someone is going to look back at this time and have any difference of opinion, every different thought, the way we look back at what was going on during 1945 to 48. Because we look back at it and we're like, oh, this is deplorable, this is reprehensible. How did Hitler do this? How could they let him happen? They're doing it right now, fam. In 2 years, we've seen Gaza been reduced to a lot. Like, it's nothing but rubble.
I hear that. So I'm not even going that direction, although part of my existential rant is based on that. I'm talking about, I think the average person believes that why is nothing being done about all the people named in the Epstein files, for example? Last week I almost put it in the Patreon group, and then I don't know, I didn't want to like ruin other people's days, but I read some Epstein file report that absolutely ruined my day. I was ruined. It was horrible. And I was like, I can't believe the people who did this are getting away with it. Something should be done. Then I was like, okay, something should be done by who? Who must do something? By whom?
By whomst?
The powers? The powers are, that's what I mean when I say we feel that when someone does something wrong, the power that exists will punish them and put them in jail. But that's not true.
Yeah.
It's not a thing. It's
and
not,
and it's never happened. Like, that's the thing. Like, the same people that profited off of slavery are the same people that control the world now, and they've had no reckoning. The only form of reckoning or comeuppance or karma is maybe one rombe, and maybe once in a while the child would just.
What's the point of that, Phil? Because it wasn't even you, your kids. How can you blame the kids? How were the kids even raised?
But
it's not even that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the extent of like what people sometimes believe is karma. It's not like there is no karma in this world, and I think that's the most heartbreaking thing. There is no karma. Maybe once in a while, if you put yourself in a bad situation by the law of attraction and the laws of physics and the laws of existence, you are going to have bad results from being in a bad situation. But for the most part, these horrible people do horrible things and nothing happens to them.
Yeah. Anyway, existential rant over, Phil. Let's look at wrapping things up. Have you bought your J. Cole tickets?
Well, not yet, but I'm planning to go. I have to. This one's going to be huge. I already saw some people already got first batch, but yeah.
Yeah, I saw as well. J. Cole announced the Fall Off Tour, 50-plus city global tour that includes Johannesburg, South Africa at the FNB Stadium, all the way in December 2026. Tickets are already on sale, well, or pre-sale.
Yeah, the pre-sale's already done, I believe. I believe they've already done 40,000.
It's going to sell out. We need to get serious, Phil. How much are the tickets?
They're actually not that bad. I think they start at like 400, but obviously, you know me. But also, by that time, I'm not going to be paying for the ticket, but just in case.
I mean, I hope that I also won't be paying, but gee, I think I'm just going to have to buy said tickets.
Yeah,
I'm going to buy tickets, even if you don't go or even if you don't pay. I mean, those will be easy to sell. Anyway, Doja Cat is also going to be in South Africa performing at Global Citizens Move Africa in Pretoria, the Sunbed Arena. That's in March next month. Exactly a month from now, actually. You going for that?
No, not for that one. Unless I'm working. I might be working, but if it's for work, then I'll be working, but not for leisure. As much as I love Z, I'm not doing that. I've got a lot going on.
What's the name of that song? Anyway.
Give me again. Okay, let's go again. Give me a bit more. Let's go. Keep going.
No, that's Sabrina Carpenter. What's that song? Her famous song, man. Anyway, that's
Which one? Say So.
Yes, Say So. It's kind of a bop, actually. Anyway, yeah, that's what's happening outside. Let's move towards wrapping things up, Phil. I don't know if there's anything else you want to talk about, but I'm done.
No, I think the rest of the stuff I'll discuss with the patrons in the group over the weekend. But yeah, I think I need to wrap up. I've got a dev sprint to finish, and I want to try to get some sleep because tomorrow is another long day. But as you can see, we are pushing, guys. We are working. I'm still at the office. I've got work to do. Dan is still at the home office. He's got work to do. We're trying. We're pushing. And
y'all guys. So yeah, thank you very much once again. Please, like we mentioned already, we do need your support on the socials. So please follow Two Broke Twimbos on everything on the social medias. Whenever you come across these videos, just drop a like, comment, repost it, and say something controversial.
Yeah, remind me to tell you something after we're done recording. I just remembered.
Cool. And we will, if you would like to be a Patreon subscriber, we will hopefully sort that out this week. I'm working on it. But you can also do a once-off donation if you just go to twobrokeTwimbos.com/donate. Otherwise, I think we can end it here and say thank you very much once again for tuning in to Two Broke Twimbos. And we'll catch you in the next one.
We out.
We out.